Hello everyone. As promised, here's the YouTube channel review you have been requesting for the last 6 months. I'm going to keep this really simple and try to give an unbiased review of YouTube channels for those of you who have submitted your channels to me. So it could be bad, it could be good, but no doubt it is going to be an honest one. Okay. Here we go. Let's get started. Tuso Caveman. I hope I got that right. He has been uploading videos for over a year now, and so far, I would say his channel is doing quite alright. He has a few videos with over 1,000 views, which honestly might sound little, but it is actually not easy to achieve, especially if you are a small YouTube channel. So let's watch his most popular video for a bit.
Days ago, I was having a meal with my friends. All of us are already working adults, so naturally, the topics that we're talking about mostly surrounded things like, when are you going to get married? When do you plan to have kids? Have you guys gotten a house? So inevitably, one of my friends asked me, "Make any plans to get a house ready?" To his question, I'll answer it in the most Singaporean way. No fate leh, government don't want to give me my house. To give some context and explanation to my international viewers on what that sentence meant, we basically have to bid for a chance to purchase houses in Singapore.
Alright, just from that alone, you can tell he put in a lot of effort into editing to keep things engaging. His style is quite similar to mine. Just a talking head video sharing experiences and dreams and opinions. But is this the same for other videos though? Let's have a look at some of the latest videos.
Into words. Going back to how I used to lead my life, it would often be made up of a mixture of tasks that I partake with the aim of improving myself, such as exercising and reading books, and also tasks that I indulge in to kick back and relax. It seems like a good balance, truth to be told. However, the mentality that I sometimes have—
Okay, again, this is my personal preference, but I kinda like his video editing. It is minimal and the focus is a lot on the message he wants to portray. But why is it that his views aren't really climbing up? Let's break this down a little. First, the good part. His video editing is not too bad. It may not be super fancy like a professional, but not everyone likes videos that are heavily edited. His video quality is also really good, clear and crisp. Audio, thumbs up as well. Clear, strong audio with good voice. Thumbnails, I'd say the recent thumbnails are getting there. It shows authenticity, and thumbnails that are raw with little to no editing are kinda getting lots of views these days. So what's the problem here? I think this channel is missing a good story. What do I mean by that? Well, when I first look at his channel, at first glance, I can tell it is about personal development. However, the titles of his video may require some tweaking because it doesn't portray who this channel is for. From what I can see, every video feels more like sharing an opinion, which is okay, but you just need to know that if you're sharing an opinion randomly, then people may not be interested to listen to you. So instead, try and title your videos so that it shows how you grow as a person if you want to talk about personal development. When you're able to show and execute that, you make yourself much more relatable because you don't know who out there is walking the same path you'd walked and wants a change just like you. If you have a look at the video with the most views, it is much more relatable to Singaporeans because I know Singapore's economy is booming right now and everything seems fantastic from the outside. But there are things happening in Singapore that only Singaporeans may understand, but dare not speak up, whether it is speaking out loud or on social media. So that video triggers a lot of emotions, and there might be someone out there who just wants to know if there are others out there who are feeling the same way. What I'm saying is the message in the videos are clear. However, it needs to get people to click, otherwise no one will get the message in the videos. And when you get the titles right, you will give more clarity for your YouTube channel and subsequently your audience. Have a look at the latest videos. It is not clear to me how each video connects to one another at first glance, which breaks the pattern of your journey. I know it is about personal developments, but I can only tell after watching a couple of videos and reviewing the channel, something that not many viewers would do. Okay, so to summarize this up, improve your titles so that it tells a story and a journey about yourself. Do some research on your competitors if you have to. Second, share experiences. If you have an experience to share where thanks to personal development, you have gained some form of success, then share it. Those are really powerful videos. It is much more powerful than just giving your opinion. If you want to share your opinion on something, then try to wrap it around an experience, which then creates a story. Third, the titles needs to be less negative. Negative titles are good, it gets way more clicks, but just be careful not to be too negative or provocative. Okay, so that's all for this one. The next one is Weekend Kanto.
This hidden gem that I'm going to share with you is a museum in 深水埗博物館。深水埗 It is called 美荷樓生活館。美荷樓 is the name of the building. 生活 means living and 館 means an indoor place.
Alright, so I understand Cantonese as well, although not as proficient as her, so I can at least vouch that what she is saying is correct. The first thing I noticed is the video quality and the audio quality. I think the video is taken with a smartphone, which is okay, but it feels like there's lack of lighting, hence the video appears a little out of focus. However, the bigger concern I have here is the audio. It is not exactly clear, like sometimes it is okay and sometimes it goes really soft. Many of you might not know this, but on YouTube, the audio is way more important than the video. A bad audio just pushes people away more than a bad video. Perhaps the lavalier mic you're using may need a little bit of adjustment so that it picks up a little bit more of your voice. The other thing you can do is once you're done recording, run through your audio file against this program called Levelator, which will automatically adjust the decibel of your audio to give it the perfect level. Feel free to reach out to me by email if you need help with this. Alright, so with audio and video quality aside, let's focus on the channel. The views in this channel is actually not bad. For the number of subscribers she has and the views she's getting per video, it's not bad at all. One of the reasons it is not getting more views is because, and this is just my opinion, it could be because people are more used to searching how to speak Mandarin than how to speak Cantonese. So this is something you may need to search around using Google Trends or something to gauge the searchability. The other thing I would consider here is who is your demographic? As in, are you targeting adults or kids? The reason I'm asking is because what an adult wants to learn and what a kid wants to learn are two very different things. Kids have a much shorter attention span, so you can't stuff too much information into one video. So you can probably teach them one saying per video, like a greeting of some sort, such as good morning or how are you or dinner time. Videos like yours may also be used by Cantonese learning schools as well. I know Mandarin schools in Australia used some Mandarin learning YouTube channels as learning materials. Adults though would want to learn how to apply Cantonese when conversing with others, especially in a Chinese restaurant. For example, you have a video called Breakfast at Cha Chan Tang in Cantonese. I think this is a great video for adults, especially if they want to order food. However, for someone who doesn't understand Cantonese and is learning, they might not know how to search for Cha Chan Tang. They may instead search for how to order food in Cantonese at a Hong Kong cafe, and that's a title you can use. Another point I can add here is learning to speak versus learning to write. I believe there are two kinds of videos. Learning to speak involves repetition, so it can be a short 1 to 2 minutes video about learning how to speak "How are you?" in Cantonese. And you just kind of repeat that over and over again, and that itself is lesson 1. Learning to write is very difficult in my opinion, especially Chinese characters, just because of the strokes. I know you're sort of doing the strokes in the air, and that's maybe evidence for those who know how the stroke goes, but for those who don't, they may not understand it. If you can add some animation to the stroke instead, that will be beautiful. But again, that's quite difficult as far as I know, but I haven't done much research on this. And finally, the direction of your channel. You probably want to decide where you want to head with your channel. Do you want your channel to be a channel to learn Cantonese, like tutorials? Then your video may all look the same but in lesson form. Or do you want your channel to be learning Cantonese on the go? Then maybe you can show how you use Cantonese in everyday life, like ordering food or asking for directions, or maybe a vlog style if you're feeling adventurous. So, to summarize this up, first, fix up your audio quality. You have a lavalier, so it should pick up good audio, but probably just test around the placement of it. Second, demographic. Think about who you want to reach out to. Are they adults or children? Choose one and create videos for that target audience first. Third, speaking and writing. Most of the viewers on YouTube are really here to learn speaking, to be honest. But if you want to add writing to it, be sure to find out if you can animate the strokes instead of doing air strokes. And number 4, decide on your channel's direction. I personally think you should branch out to your own Cantonese learning program or something like that, and I will use YouTube as a platform to drive traffic there instead. Alright, next one, scruffy leadership.
And how I ended up where I am today. And at the end, I'll share some of the key lessons I've picked up along the way. So I was very into computers from a young age. I learned BASIC on a BBC Micro aged around 9 in the early 80s, at a time when my school had just one computer, which was wheeled around from classroom to classroom. And I got my first computer not long after that, a Commodore 16. I loved it, and I spent every second I could on it, playing games.
Okay, so he has way more experience than me, obviously, but our path is pretty similar, moving from software engineering to leadership roles, so I sort of understand where he's going. But first, let's talk about the basics. I reckon the video quality can be improved here. There's a lot of noise in the video, but it can be easily fixed with good lighting. The other thing is having a blurred background. Now, I'm not sure if it is a green screen or it is intentionally blurred. I'm not even sure if that is possible. But having a really blurred background makes it less authentic. The props you see in my background are intentional. It may not be the best, but it represents who I am as an individual as well. So my recommendation is to try and set up a proper background. It does not have to be full of stuff like mine. It can even be a white wall with minimal props. If you're talking about tech, whether it is a career or gadgets, the minimal background is super important. Be sure to check out Dave2D, Nate O'Brien, and Ali Abdal. They have a very inviting setup which sets the tone for their viewers to start enjoying the video. Audio-wise, I think it is perfect. Loud and clear audio, and your voice is really soothing. I can imagine myself listening in the car as a podcast as well. Overall, I say the video is pretty well done and the message is clear. Now, having said that, this channel is fairly new given he has only uploaded over 30 videos. So it is hard to justify the channel's performance due to insufficient data. However, what I can say is the intention of this channel is pretty clear. It is pretty much talking about leadership and management roles. The first thing I noticed is the thumbnail. There are lots of green screens which doesn't make it stand out, especially on a dark theme. The other thing is the color grading. The color of him seems faded, which I assume is just the lighting when he took the photo. There are lots of tools out there like Photoshop that can help enhance the color grading automatically for you. I use them a lot because I am not as creative, but it really makes the thumbnail pop once done right. Okay, so I spoke about the thumbnail and video. Next, I want to focus on the message of his videos. Frankly speaking, I love the message of his videos. I think many people are afraid of leadership roles due to the amount of responsibilities required, and guiding the young ones into leadership roles is admirable. So what I think this channel needs right now is leverage. Most of the topics he made are good. However, he portrays himself as just a leader with an opinion. I think what can be done here is to enhance the topics to trigger more emotion in it, such as those who are trying to get into management roles but can't because they can't play office politics. So you can start thinking about what makes someone want to go from being a software engineer to a leader. and what are the blockers. An example I can think of is salary, right? Moving to a leadership role comes with a salary increment, and that's something people may want to know. So your thumbnail could have something like going from, I don't know, 80,000 to 150,000. Then your title may be how I became a director at Google as a software engineer. Having a good thumbnail and title that captures attention will get you the clicks. Then in your video, you can talk about learning to become a manager or the skills you need and how to learn them. I hope that's clear because I can see your good intention, but viewers just need a good reason to watch the video, and to do that, you need to make it relatable in your title and thumbnail. You can always send your message in your video in any way you want. You just have to script it up properly. But don't be afraid of playing around with your words in the title. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, don't be a lecturer, be a friend. Okay, summary time. First, fix up your video. Give it a proper background, add some props, keep it simple. And second, thumbnail. Get a better photo taken under good lighting, then learn to apply some automatic color grading if you can. If you are using Adobe, then try out Lightroom. And third, create titles that make yourself more relatable to your audience. You have a good story to tell, you have good experience, and you have the added advantage of working at Google. I say leverage on that, get feedback from your audience, then carve your next video and direction based on those feedback. Okay, that's all from me. Unfortunately, I can only do 3 channels, otherwise this video becomes way too long. But don't worry, there's always next time. If you want your channel to be reviewed, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. Link in the description below, and I'll pin it in the comments as well.